Hey gamers, welcome back to a brand new DSP video. That's right, we're going to be discussing DSP's marathons because I've been noticing kind of a weird trend that's been going on with these marathons, and I don't really know why, but I'm just going to explain it from my perspective. So we had the Mega Man marathon, that went fine. It went like any other average DSP marathon where there were some begs, there were some bans, and whatever. And then there's some drinking because he does drinking now. I don't know if there was another marathon after that, but I'm going to go to the birthday marathon where that was kind of the tip off. He got really drunk during that marathon. He said a lot of weird shit. Like he mentions during a game somewhere in that marathon that Kat should reevaluate her career options. It was very bizarre and it was very weird. Like he was talking about how she's not happy or something. It was a very weird segment that's like, why are you bringing your wife into this, right? And then you get to the end of that stream and he has another crash out segment where he's getting a lot of money and he's kind of bragging and being grateful and emotional about him being a positive streamer, which is complete nonsense when he participated in the things he said was toxic. So it was a very silly moment, but that's kind of where it began. Then you go to the viewer's choice. Now, every viewer's choice, if you look in the history of DSP gaming, has always been filled with an air of passive aggressiveness. You saw that with Persona 3, maybe Persona 4. You saw that with, like, even back when, I think it was an Indies Marathon, but this was another event that was nominated and voted on by other viewers during the Twitch era. There was a viewer named Nick. I call him Pineapple Man because or Pineapple Head because his head looked like a pineapple. And he had an argument with DSP over Stardew Valley, and DSP was saying that that's not a good game for the stream, and Nick was like, it's an indie game, and people voted on it, and whatever. Like, it was a big argument between the two. It was very, very interesting. But then you have this current indie viewer's choice, and again, I was expecting the typical passive aggressive, like, oh, this game's kind of stupid, whatever, and it kind of was that, but it had a very weird negative angle where he refused to refund the game. He went out of his way out of spite to make sure he could never refund it. Then he got mad at people calling him out for the double standard or hypocrisy of him shitting on Kingdom Come Deliverance 2 for having a long, drawn-out intro, but he loved Paper Mario, which also has a long, drawn-out intro. Then you get to Truck Sim, which he said, oh, I don't know if this is going to work, and then magically it can work, and now he does it like once a week, and now he's buying a steering wheel for Paper Mario will be forever, carrot dangled, whatever, but it had this weird level of negativity that kind of feels out of nowhere and uncalled for. Because in the daily wrap, he mentions the next marathon will not be skewed by the trolls and will be in his control because those are the best marathons, which I'd argue is not really the case. And even then, after that, he kept asking his viewers, what do you guys want to do for the 100 goal marathon? What should we do for the marathon? So what happened with it's going to be a controlled marathon, right? But then he announces it was going to be the Mario Kart Rainbow Road Rush. I keep saying Rash, but it's Rush. Whatever. And on the surface level, it's a fine idea. I mean, everyone's doing this. This is a very entry level idea. Level 1 idea, basically. And that's kind of all he proposed for it was, oh, I'm going to be trying to get to Rainbow Road. So he gets the Switch 2, he unboxes it. Now, of course, he hyped up getting the Switch 2 on doing unboxing and testing out the accessories. Now, this is where an issue arises in my mind. What do you think people would rather see in a marathon setting? Someone unboxing the Switch 2 or someone playing Mario Kart World on the Switch 2? Now, I will argue, I don't think there's anything wrong with unboxing the Switch 2 in a marathon setting, but DSP's marathons are not really they're not real marathons in my opinion, because they are just as long as two stream of both streams put together. So it's not really anything amazing or different. It's just, what if you just combine the two streams and put them together, right? Like, oh, there's a 4 hour stream, add the 2 hour stream together, that's the marathon. Other people do longer marathons to play these games or whatever. And that's why people can like kind of forgive or just like be hyped for the unboxing. The other aspect about DSP's unboxing is that he is a literal caveman. Like, I was watching a little bit of it, and I'm sitting down there thinking to myself, he knew there was a day one patch. He knew there was a patch day one to use the system. He turns it on and was like, huh? I have to connect to the internet. I don't want to connect to the internet right now. I want to use the dock so I can use the Ethernet port. Now, in my opinion, I assume the day one patch was going to be like, what, like 5 megabytes or some insanely small patch size. Like, I don't think they were going to make it as goofy as the Wii U's patch that they forced you to download or whatever the fuck. This, at least I assumed, was going to be very quick. So, I was like, okay, when I was setting mine up, it was like, alright, let's do it Wi-Fi, whatever, done, boom, finished. And I was able to do everything I needed very quickly. This dude could not figure out, like, was surprised he had to do this. Then he remembered he had to reset the modem to have it be added. Now, I don't know what's going on with his modem situation, so I don't know if it's Comcast or if it's the routers or whatever. I think he said he has a third-party modem now, which I have heard that Comcast kind of makes it difficult to use other companies' modems, because obviously Comcast wants you to use theirs, so they may make it intentionally a little bit difficult so that you'd be so frustrated you want to use theirs. I think because I think someone told me about that when I was like looking into that myself, but whatever. Anyways, that's beside the point. So he had to do that on top of that. It was a very silly setup situation that he was going through. He couldn't understand. He didn't want to transfer the Switch 1 stuff to the Switch 2, which, on his end, it shouldn't be that hard. Like, how many games did he even have on the Switch 1 to begin with? But it's not even that bad to even do that. Whatever. So, a lot of this stuff is just bogged down by his own ineptitude, to the point where it's like, I feel like what he should have done was just do the unboxing early on or whatever, and then do the marathon later or later that day or whatever. Or at least do something else. I don't know. I mean, on one hand, it's kind of unfair because Mario Kart World is the only massive major game that he would play, but I think he could have just played with viewers at this point. Like, what's gonna happen? What's the worst that could happen? He got upset at It's-A-Me Ken for wanting to play Mario Kart with him, which I don't know why he was so reluctant to do that. And I don't know the reaction he had on the initial request. I know he said like later on that he wanted to ban him on site because it was like him trying to hijack the stream. Now, this is a brand new multiplayer game on the Switch 2, and he didn't want to even race with It's-A-Me Ken. Now, arguably, what's gonna happen? First off, this is a Nintendo Online game. What kind of information do you think Nintendo's gonna be sharing? I mean, Nintendo is very reluctant to do a lot of stuff with their online service. If you've seen the history of Nintendo and online multiplayer, you can kind of feel a little bit assured that the most Nintendo will share is just the name at this point, just the username that you tell it to use, right? But anyways, he didn't want to do that for whatever reason, which I don't even think would be that hard. But whatever, I think he's still kind of afraid that there's gonna be some IP leak or whatever. And the other thing is, I feel with It's-A-Me Ken, because even if you go back to the birthday marathon, he was kind of very weird about those subs and memberships that It's-A-Me Ken and It's-A-Me Markula was dropping. Very simply because I do think DSP knows that these people are like crypto people. Like these people like are really invested in crypto coin and whatever nonsense. So I think he doesn't really know what that means, and he thinks that these people are like hackers or something. Like I'm willing to believe that he thinks that these people are gonna like do some like hacker shit. So that's probably why he wants to keep them at arm's distance. Just give the money and that's it. I don't need anything else. But it was a very weird marathon, and he had a very weird attitude towards it, to the point where when I did my DSP parody, where I'm unboxing the Switch 2, I didn't even play Mario Kart in that video because I did a gag where I just convinced the viewers that nobody wanted to see Mario Kart and everyone would rather see me play to do Q&A or whatever. And I put that out there, and I step away. I play Mario Kart with my friend. I am watching TV. I look on Twitter, and I see people saying DSP wants to wage quit Mario Kart. DSP wants to drop Mario Kart, to the point where it's like I almost basically called that he was gonna drop it for a Q&A. Like he already was talking about doing an audible for for Friday's stream to not do Mario Kart, and I'm just like, this is a brand new game. You didn't like really dive into it, and you want to drop it already. Like it's wild. It is honestly wild, and I do feel like obviously he wants to give the Switch 2 back to Kat because it's her Switch 2 and all intents and purposes, uh, and move on. The other thing I want to bring up is, I guess he did test the accessories, but did he do all of them? I know he did a carrying case because there's that clip of him like dropping the Switch 2, and then he did the thumbstick thing, and then he did the steering wheel, which was a last minute thing. Like it almost seemed like he didn't want to do it, and he realized, oh yeah, I should do it. Why not, right? And it was a very short-lived thing. Like he didn't even want to do it in a race because obviously he doesn't want he's a tryhard. I mean, he just wants to have fun, so he has to play with a normal controller like everyone else. It is just funny to me that he does this marathon and there's no sense of like genuine fun. Like when I was getting my Switch 2, I was debating, should I get the Wii wheel? Jeez, I'm making the same mistake DSP did. But I was thinking getting the Joy-Con wheel, but I was like, do I want that? But part of me is like, I just don't want to get more plastic that's just gonna take space, Like I got over that with Mario Kart Wii, I guess, but I got over that with like Rock Band and this other thing. I don't want these stupid accessories that are like specific for certain games, and I may not even want to use it again. Like it would just seem like a waste of money, right? So I was like, I'm not gonna get that because I don't need it. I could also just use the Joy-Con and stuff. Like I don't need the wheel necessarily, or I could just use the Pro controller and just use that, right? So I had no intentions of buying the wheel after that. He had a knockoff wheel, which it's kind of silly because the Nintendo brand ones I think are like $25, maybe 40, but I think they're $25. This one I'm willing to bet it's the same price. I don't think it's that cheap. But why get that, right? Like why get this weird knockoff that has weird grammar and this and that, right? Like why bother with that? He goes out of his way to buy he went out of his way to buy an Elite controller. He wanted to get like like the expensive fight stick, but he doesn't want to buy a Nintendo brand wheel. I don't know. But he didn't want to use that during a race. Like you're playing Mario Kart World on the Switch 2, and you want to have this marathon be a fun atmosphere. Wouldn't you think it'd be funny? Hey, I'm doing online. I'm gonna try the wheel, and you try that. Like it seems kind of funny to me that these marathons are slowly getting injected with this very high stress thought of, dude, if something doesn't go right, people are gonna make fun of me. Like he starts getting like it's a form of being self-conscious, right? Like you're afraid to perform. Like, dude, what if I go on stage and my pants fall down? Dude, what if I'm doing like a song and I forget the lyrics? Like that it's kind of like he's doing that, but it's like he has been a streamer for so long and suddenly he's having like shaky legs. Like he's scared. Like he's scared to do Grand Prix or online mode with the wheel. He then was like, well, I'll just do the offline open world segment with the wheel so I can see how it is. But why not go online with it? I don't know if he ever did online with that wheel, by the way. But he didn't really stick with it that long. And it's like, why not do it and have fun with it? Like, it's the same, like, conundrum or paradox where he's like, well, I'm doing casual mode for fun. I'm doing this for fun. But then he starts complaining when he starts to lose. Oh, this guy's a try-hard and this and that. And these marathons are getting this really ridiculous pressure from himself, by the way. Because the trolls were going to make fun of him anyway. Like, there's really, like, as I said in many videos, who's he making content for? Right? Like he did this marathon for his fans. Right? Why did he start the marathon talking about how the trolls tried to cancel his Switch 2 pre-order? Why are we considered about what the trolls are going to think? Like he thinks way more about the trolls than his own fucking fans. Like, dude, I've said this before, like, at the end of the day, who really cares how bad you play at a video game? Like real talk. Like, of course, the trolls are gonna say, like, I mean, people made fun of him how he played Doom, right? But who cares? Wow, someone said DSP sucks at Doom. That will never happen, right? Nobody makes fun of anyone for how they play Doom, right? But again, this is coming from the guy that says, I learned my lesson from him. This is how you don't play, but he never really did. He only learned after the fact because it's opportunistic cloud chase that say, see guys, I've grown up to no regret and I'm resentful for how I acted back then. But when it comes to learn from that in current year, he can't do that because it's hurting him now. Like it's just very, very bizarre. But these marathons were meant to be very hype marathons for his viewers, and what they ended up getting is him like bumbling around, unboxing the Switch 2, not understanding how the Switch 2 works, then like just playing offline for the majority of the marathon, and then going online near the end, and then just being stone-faced at it the whole time, looking miserable, and then just complaining about support. Like, he started this like, guys, give me $20 and I'll pick a character you want me to pick. But he hyped up that he was going to play every character when he was hyping up this marathon. But now that's behind a paywall. He put shots behind a paywall. Now, the birthday marathon, I'd argue, is the only marathon I feel he actually did the shots. The viewer's choice, I didn't even know he did them. Like, I was like, did he do one shot? I haven't seen a shot. And this, I've seen a few shots, but I've seen clips of it. So I know he did some. But did he even do them? Like, there's one he does a shot, then he goes off camera, and then he goes back on and he does this weird thing with his mouth. And the clip, I think one clip on Twitter is called, like, DSP threw up or whatever, or he was about to throw up. But I looked at that, I was like, it looked like he put alcohol in his mouth and he spit it out. That's what it looked like to me. Like, he has a little spit bucket there, and he just kind of spit the alcohol back out. That's what it kind of looked like to me. So I'm sure maybe that's not what happened, but it was a very weird chain of events that happened there. But these marathons, like, it started off with, like, happiness, and he was hyped up, and all of them, every marathon, like clockwork, ends with them being exhausted and like, frustrated. There's not been a marathon where he ended happy, where he's like, yeah, guys, that was a good marathon. Yeah, that's it. Like, man, you know, right now, Tony's been doing that huge, long-ass subathon, right? Eventually, it has to end. Everything comes to an end, correct? I wonder how he'd act at the end of that subathon. Is he gonna be like, oh my god, I'm finally fucking over this. Fuck this, or what? What's gonna happen, right? Maybe we'll never know. Maybe it'll be ongoing. It's a stream that will never end. But every marathon, I mean, even look at, like, Mega 64 did the MLK stream where Rocco was in the room for like a week. He would have been honestly probably miserable because they lasted like they had a flash bomb command. They had alerts blasting throughout the night, 24 hours a day, whatever. At the very end, it was a very like exciting end. He was able to go outside. He was like, "Yeah, I'm fucking out of here." That was very exciting to see that. But you watch DSP do a marathon, and it's really like seeing a dude like get tortured. It's so bizarre. Like Rocco sat in a room actually being more tortured than DSP, comparatively speaking, and that was a more hype stream to watch and then to see it end. DSP, it's just like he starts off on a high note. As it goes on and on and on, he gets more negative and frustrated, especially if there's not enough support. And I don't know why he thinks that's successful. He wants to convince us as well that, oh, I don't care about support guys. It's all about about an engagement, how fun the marathon is. He gets like what $500, and he was trying to squeeze another 100 out of his fucking fans to get 600. For some reason, he was really thirsty for $600 in support. But my guy, you're doing a marathon that's supposed to be a hype, fun marathon. Why are you trying to squeeze more money in a miserable way? Why is the whole marathon sour? The whole marathon was him complaining about how the game has no longevity, and this and this is kind of what made me want to do this video. Like, is the next marathon going to be this negative? And then at the same time, if enough people talk about it, he's just going to force being happy, I guess. Like, DSP has found a way to put himself in a position where it will be seen lose regardless of what happens. And this is kind of what I mean, that he really needs to kind of divorce his mentality on wanting the trolls to be proven wrong or wanting to turn trolls' opinion to DSP is cool. He should not be trying to surprise trolls into becoming fans. Focus on the audience you have now. Why are we discussing about, oh my god, guys, I did Rainbow Road Rush, I did every cup, and all the trolls are gonna say that I suck at games. Fuck you, look what I did. Dude, anyone could do this. If anything, I think they made it way easier. Like, you don't even have to be in first place to really do anything in Mario Kart anymore because you already have all these stages unlocked. Like, I don't know. Like, I don't really think it's that impressive anymore because everything's unlocked from the get-go. You're only unlocking characters, which is only a matter of time you're going to unlock. It's like really bragging about unlocking characters in Super Smash Bros. Ultimate where you can literally just play the game and get characters. You don't even have to do anything. But he bragged about how he played the game offline. But then he goes online and he sucks. He complains about everyone else playing better than him. He doesn't know the shortcuts or whatever, while refusing to have any actual fun. And then he also just didn't want to drink anything. Like, why not? Like, this is the issue I have as well. Like, why not come up with more creative ways to get drunk on stream in a controlled setting? Like, why not just say like, well, I'll do some shots if I get first place, but or whatever, or maybe if he loses or something, he gets under 5th place, he'll take a shot or whatever. Or, oh, if I get hit by a red shell, I'll take a shot. But if I, whatever, then have like a cooldown situation. But he can't really be creative. These marathons are all level 1 thoughts. Like, when he announced the Rainbow Road Rush, everyone said, this is a nothing burger of an idea. Everyone is gonna do a Mario Kart World Marathon because it's a launch game. Like, it would be more impressive if he was like, I'm gonna play Yakuza 0. That would be more, like, impressive at that point. but he hasn't done anything. And was the accessory reviews even worth anything? Like, was that worth watching? Like, that's the other thing. Everyone's already accusing DSP of buying all these accessories for Cat, which, you know, the accessory thing is interesting to me because on one hand, it's like, yeah, these are for Cat, and that's fine. I mean, because at least they're being used. At least he bought something that's gonna get used, right? But at the same time, he probably knows that this is gonna get a lot of clicks because out of like, oh my god, dude, this is like insane level of like greed and grifting because he knows that there's going to be a lot of like reviews of peripherals and accessories on YouTube, and he wants to ride that algorithm wave. He wants to be thrown into that search algorithm for, oh my god, what carrying case should be used for the Switch 2 and that kind of stuff. It's very clear that DSP wanted to ride that wave, so he's willing to buy all these accessories. Why do you think he doesn't buy any accessories for the Xbox, PlayStation, or PC? Because nobody looks for these accessories as much. Meanwhile, Switch 2 is a hybrid console, a family console, and kids want it. And guess who's going to be looking up reviews and doing research for it? Kids sometimes, and parents. DSP wants to be thrown into that pool of videos that people can watch. It is so greedy and grifty for him to do, but I can understand that. But again, these accessories are going to be mostly used by Cat, and it's very greedy and scummy that he did this anyway. Like, why waste all your money on this big mountain of accessories and hype them up, and then be like, guys, I need to hit $600? Like, he brings up in that same stream, that same marathon, I didn't even make enough money to make up for the cost of the Switch 2. Now let's think about this rationally, right? He announced this marathon the same day, the exact same day, he got $1,600 as a tip. You know, the thing that gets directly sent to DSP. The Switch 2 was already on the way at that point because he would not have announced his marathon if he didn't get the Switch 2, or if he knew it was even coming. So he knew it was coming. He announces the marathon, he gets $1,600, so that already more than paid for the Switch 2 and Mario Kart. He then does the marathon. I didn't make my money back. And then also just keep in mind, he's gonna ask for money every day that he streams, you know, because it's his job. So it kind of is a silly thing for him to say, especially when he can also claim this for his taxes, correct? So this is completely nonsensical bullshit that kind of makes himself more depressed. Like, that's what I don't understand as well. He does this marathon, and it's like he's finding ways to bum himself out by the end. He's bemoaning how this has no longevity. Oh, maybe I should do an audible. Maybe I shouldn't play Mario Kart anymore. Maybe Mario Kart's played out or whatever. And it's like he mentions he wants a ranked mode in Mario Kart World. And I'm sitting there thinking to myself, you know, if they had a ranked mode, guess what? He'd say, I don't want to play your ranked. This is a casual game. Mario Kart's a party game. I'm not going to be a tryhard. I'm going to do the casual mode. Like, he wouldn't play the ranked mode. It's such a cop-out excuse for him to not play online. I mean, he did say he liked the knockout mode, which, you know, that's a mode online. Okay, fair enough. But this dude wanting a ranked mode is complete nonsense when he would avoid it if there was one, because he'd say that's for the tryhards. Because I guarantee if there was a ranked mode, there'd be enough people on Twitter that would say, oh my god, ranked mode, we could do some nice tricks or whatever. They'd talk about some meta gameplay of Mario Kart that would be so goofy that it would scare DSP away from it. Look at what happened to Fatal Fury. He saw all these tech videos and got scared. That I also feel like happened with Gears of War, which Gears of War is a fucking shooter. And I also want to say that happened with Smash Brothers. But yeah, there's no way, and Splatoon. But this dude would not do ranked mode for Mario Kart. I don't know why the fuck he was fantasizing about that. But he has this marathon, and the whole marathon was just him bumming himself out. Dude, you're doing a hype marathon and you're finding ways to complain about the game you're playing on the marathon. He hyped the marathon on Mario Kart. You tune in, and he's like, "Oh, I guess Mario Kart's played out, guys. I may have to do an audible. I don't think it's worth $80, guys." Like, does he play this just to bum himself out? And the biggest red flag was, guys, you can't say I'm not a Nintendo fan. I have a Mario shirt. And I'm just gonna say this right now in case I forget. I don't think he liked that shirt because of Mario. I think he liked it because of pizza. I think that's what he liked the most. Because if he liked Mario, why doesn't he buy official Mario merch, right? I know he has like a shirt that's like the Mario Brothers doing Abbey Road, but that's not an official shirt. I don't think it is. Why does he buy official merchandise? Why does he buy Nintendo licensed merchandise? I have Nintendo merchandise, but I like Nintendo. I enjoy their games. But DSP, like, it goes with this mentality of his that in order for you to be honest, you have to be negative. If you're positive, you're a liar. So if anyone sits there and they end up liking the Switch 2, they're shills. But if they sat there and said, well, the Switch 2 isn't that good. Okay, yeah, the Switch 2 is like stupid and dumb. You're honest. Which is kind of silly. I mean, sure, you can be honest and hate Nintendo, but you can also be honest and like Nintendo. Like, that's, like, honesty isn't measured by how much you're critical or how much you praise. It's just really just what you're saying in the body of what you're saying. Like, come on, it's very straightforward on how to be honest. But he has that Nintendo shirt to kind of tell you guys, see, I like Nintendo. I have a Mario shirt that has Mario eating pizza, but it's not even Mario. It's just some Italian guy with a Mario head on it, I think. It's not even like genuine. But again, it's just a pizza shirt. It's a very dumb shirt. That's not even like Nintendo related in my opinion. It's just pizza. Like, again, I don't even think he got that shirt because of Nintendo. He got it because, dude, Mario and pizza. That's why he got it. He got it for the pizza. He didn't get it for Mario or anything like that. And he thinks that's like a way to dissuade people's claims that he's not a Nintendo fan. Like, dude, anyone could buy Nintendo merch. Like, this is the meme. It's literally the meme. Hey, like, it's like I wear a shirt that says, that's like Slipknot, a Slipknot shirt, and like, oh, you like Slipknot? What's your favorite song? And I'm like, Enter the Sandman, and you're like, that's not Slipknot. Or maybe it is. I don't know. I don't know much about Slipknot. I only know, like, I only know one song. I know I'm talking about Slipknot now, but it's that meme. It's that meme, dude. He gets a Bullet Bill hat. He loses the hat, by the way, and then it's like if someone says, "Hey, what's that in your hat?" I don't know. Like, he gives you such basic bare bones trivia. You know Mario 2 is Doki Doki Panic in Japan? Wow, what entry level trivia you know, man? Like, does that impress the senior citizens in your retirement home? Like, it's just nonsense, and it's so funny to me that the marathon ends and he's like, yeah, I think I'm gonna like tone down the Mario Kart coverage. I don't want to be able to play it. And I'm sitting there thinking to myself in my head, this is the biggest waste of money. I mean, people already laughed at him wasting money on buying a Switch 2. He couldn't get the Mario Kart bundle, so he had to buy these two games separately. But even if he got that, it was still a waste of money. Very simply because he's not going to play it nearly as much as the PlayStation. The PS5, which is already kind of collecting dust, is going to be played way more than the fucking Switch 2. And this dude is sitting there like, I need the Switch 2 for my business. He doesn't need it for his business. Like, at this point, he should just say, yeah, this is Cat's Switch. I'm just gonna, like, borrow it to play some games, but it's her Switch or whatever. Like, this dude also mentions he was hoping for Nintendo to port Zelda, Wind Waker, and Twilight Princess so he can play it on the Switch. They have Wind Waker on the Switch too through the GameCube emulation, and he doesn't want to buy the Nintendo Online service to do that because it's a waste of money. Meanwhile, he is paying. I think he's still paying for PS Plus and Game Pass. When was the last game you played on Game Pass? Doom? No, oh my god, he did play Doom: The Dark Ages, but he could just buy the games on Steam. I mean, at this point, it's not gonna break the bank for him to buy the Nintendo Online service and play GameCube games. He could play fucking F-Zero. He could play Wind Waker. He could even play Soul Calibur 2, but he doesn't want to do that. And it's like, you hyped up the Switch 2. You wanted to play Wind Waker again. They give you that. I don't want to do that. And he hyped up in the daily wrap that he's gonna do the demo, the paid demo, which he was very critical on, and he wants to buy that. And then he says, well, then I'm gonna download Zelda Breath of the Wild. By the way, he got the cartridge for Breath of the Wild, and he most likely turned it in when he returned the bricked Switch 1. So he does not have that cartridge for Breath of the Wild, in my opinion. He did download Tears of the Kingdom, but guess what? To get the upgrade feature, unless the only thing I could think of is, does the Switch 2 do any kind of boosting on base Switch 1 games, or do you need to buy the upgrade pack? Like, I don't know if it does any boosting for that, or like maintain any frame rate maybe, but he's gonna have to download the upgrade pack, or get this, he can get it for free if he gets the Nintendo Switch Online expansion, which comes with the GameCube thing and the N64 thing, and I think even the Genesis. And guess what? You know, since this is Nintendo, I'm willing to bet Sega's gonna add the Dreamcast to that service as well. So they have options. He has options he can like use this for. Like, he'll get his money back. It's $50 a year. A year. He could get $50 a day. And he can cover it for 7 years or 6 years. Like, he makes enough for that service to pay for it until he dies. And he's like, I don't want to buy that. That's gonna be a waste of money. Dude, it's more worth it to buy that than Game Pass, comparatively speaking. I mean, Game Pass is technically the better value, but it's cheaper to buy the NSO stuff because it's $50 a year for the GameCube stuff, the N64 stuff, and all that. And they're most likely gonna add the Dreamcast later. But this dude will not do it. He will not pay this money to do this. And it is wild to me. It's wild to me. But whatever, he did this marathon and it had a very sour ending to it. And everyone online has been saying this is another bad marathon. Maybe not as bad as the indie marathon, but I'm feeling that these marathons are fucked. They'll never get back to the point where they're fun anymore, because he's forever caught in this, I gotta prove the trolls wrong, I gotta make this good, I gotta get support, and this and that. Like, you know, this has been an ongoing issue with DSP, and it originated from the Vest Streak. The Vest Streak was like, oh, what do they call it? Like, the oh my god, I'm gonna butcher the pronunciation. Primordial. You know what I mean? Like, where the base of evolution came from, right? Whatever. It was the Vest Streak. He got $100 a stream, and after that, he got very entitled to tips, because I feel in my mind that deep down in DSP's little baby brain, he was like, yeah, these guys could give me $100 a stream. They just showed me they could. So they have money I can get, I could tap into. And the Kino Casino thing made it even worse. It is insane. It was in a bad place before, and Kino Casino, like, added steroids to it. Like, it is insane how worse it got now that it's now affecting the marathons. And then he was panicking over getting support. And I also want to bring up, leading to this marathon, when he was like, why am I not getting support, guys? People are telling him, oh, maybe they're saving up for a marathon. Again, the people who are saying that out of, like, they don't know. They're just giving you their 2 cents because you asked for it. But anyways, he was like, I don't think that anyone's gonna save money for the marathon. I think it's gonna happen. Okay, so you at least expect to not make a lot of money in the marathon. He does the marathon, gets $500. Wow, I guess nobody cares about Mario Kart. Dude. Like, how much does he expect to get for an entire day of streaming? The minimum is $150 a stream, correct? So that is what, $300? $300 a day. He got $200 over that playing Mario Kart. And he's gonna tell us that, I guess nobody cares about Mario Kart. What kind of logic is that? Because he didn't get $600? What is the difference between $500 and $600? Like what magical thing would happen that if you get $600, he's gonna that he's gonna be so blown away that Mario Kart was such a huge success, he's gonna want to keep it in a regular rotation? Fuck no. And this dude is saying that $500 is nothing. I don't know where this came from. I remember he used to call $200 pittance. And now he's like, $500. And I'm just sitting there like, you're the one that tells us that. And this is the guy, by the way, that told his audience that his audience was taking him for granted. When it's very obvious it's the other way around. Because this dude has taken all his wheels for granted. If all his wheels upped and moved, or they couldn't give DSP money anymore, like if they just couldn't do it, DSP would be like ripping his hair out, live on stream, crying. But he doesn't, because he knows that at some point a whale will show up. A whale will turn up for the streams. Because that's always what happens. And I'm just sitting there like, are you sure that the viewers are the ones taking you for granted, buddy? Are you sure you're the one? These marathons have gotten so ungrateful. Like, you look at them and it's always complaining. He's always complaining about something. Like, I've never seen anyone do this. This kind of behavior is the behavior that, like, my dad gave me shit about. Like, I remember back when I was in high school, I was talking about, like, you know, the Microsoft announced the Xbox 360 Elite, and I got the 360 for Christmas, right? So it was a white 360. I always like the black console, obviously, like everyone else. So I was telling my friend, like, yeah, man, I kind of wish, like, I got the Elite or whatever. Like, you know, it was an offhanded comment. Like, I wasn't, like, seriously wanting it or anything, right? I mean, you're a teenager. You say shit. My dad literally at that moment said, "Well, you're not happy about anything," or something like that. And then my friend said to me then and there, "Wow," like he said, like he said something like that. And after that, I was like, it kind of made me think a lot. Because, you know, my dad's a nice guy. You know, I loved my dad. Rest in peace. But, you know, you need someone to say that sometimes to you, for you to really, like, think about what you're buying and what you have. DSP has all these people giving him money, giving him support, and he does a marathon, and he's like, I guess this game doesn't have any longevity. I may have to pull an audible. Over getting, what, $500 something? I have said this for years, there are streamers that would be so happy to get $10. Like $10. And DSP is like turning his nose up on $500. Okay, if that's nothing, Phil, then give it to me. I mean, the other thing is, I remember back in the day when he was on Twitch, he would be so happy to get a $50 tip. Go back to some of the very old Twitch videos, if you could find one there where he's talking about a $50 tip, maybe even $20. He would pop off like he got 100, and that changed so much to the point where $100 may or may not even get a pop off. Like, it's an RNG. It's RNG now. Like, it is so silly how ungrateful he has become. And before it was just in streams, normal streams, where he'd be like, "Oh, I got like $80, whatever, man. $100 is not bad. I'm not complaining, but it's not 150, so it can't go towards the goals or whatever the fuck." But he does a marathon. He makes more than he does in a day of streaming, and he's like, I guess that's not good enough. And I'm sitting there like, you're trying to argue with trolls that make fun of how much money you make. That, oh, I don't look at the amount of money I make. I look at the streams, guys. He gets $500 and he thinks that nobody was pumped for Mario Kart. I mean, and he could even look at, like, It's a Me Ken want him to do a viewer lobby with him or whatever, and he can't even think, dude, my marathon is so hyped that guy wants to play Mario Kart with me. Holy shit. But instead, he looks at that and is like, stop hijacking my stream. Now, of course, he knows deep down It's a Me Ken is a Keto Casino viewer and this and that. And he's kind of like, look at it. There was a chat post, and that's what I didn't know he even made, where someone was like saying, joking, like, "Oh, I'm looking forward to you topping 3K to like catch up with the casino," or whatever the fuck. And he said, "Well, now it's 5K because of inflation and all." So I guess he was looking at the amount of money they make now, and he was thinking about that ever since. Like, he has put himself in a cage. In a cage. And he's torturing himself. Like, he's the one that's putting like the coals in his own fucking cage. And all this other bullshit. And I'm sitting there like, why would you do this during a marathon you're hyping up? He's hyping up a marathon. He's bouncing for it. He's like, guys, I'm doing a Mario Kart marathon. You turn up and he's like, I don't know. I guess nobody cares about Mario Kart anymore. Oh man. And it's all fumbled. That marathon was fumbled. The unboxing was not really entertaining. It took him forever to even do it. Like, dude, I got the Switch too. I got, like, I went out, I bought it. I was so hyped to like hook it up, but I was like, I need to do a DST unboxes because I have to. But I'm telling you, when I was doing that video, part of me was just like itching to play Mario Kart. I was like, I need to hook this up. I need to get through this video. But it's like, I wanted to feel like an authentic DSP video. But so it's fighting my urge to just kind of cut corners. I got some corners to be kind of fair. There's some stuff I wish I did a little bit differently. But I am overly happy with how it turned out. But that's me doing that. Like, it was very hard for me to like fucking like do that video because I was like, I want to like hook this up. I want to like put my Switch One stuff here and this and that. I tune into DSP stream and he's just like talking about bullshit and socks and t-shirts and other people's Switch 2 experiences and this and that, and it's like, you hyped up this marathon and you're just taking your time, and he says that this is building up hype. Like, okay, man. Again, I said this in the past. He tells you that he backs up everything. He uploads everything in case you miss it on the stream. So why can't he just do stuff with that knowledge of like, hey, if someone comes in late, they can show up, they can watch the archive. That's another added view to the archive. And then when like people are like, well, then why didn't you play Mario Kart this time? Why didn't you do that or whatever? It's just nonsense. He then gave people a telltale option during that fucking stream where he said, well, guys, since you guys may not want Mario Kart, what should I do tomorrow? And like, okay, why didn't you play CVS2? That wouldn't be fair for someone that wants CVS2 because I didn't schedule it. You're asking to do an audible. You scheduled Mario Kart World the next day, so what are you really saying? Because you're gonna do Mario Kart World then. So why ask? Why bother? All this stuff is just nonsense. And these marathons are more of that. Moving on to the next marathon, it won't be viewer's choice. It'll be another weird marathon that is gonna have another weird, like, forced gimmick to it. And he's gonna be miserable in some shape, way, form, or shape. That's like worst case scenario. Best case scenario, it's just he'll get a lot of money and he'll just say, what a great stream. That's it. It won't be anything else because this dude is not creative. These marathons run into the same problem time and time again where he is not creative. Like, I really struggle to think, what did he do on his streams that's creative? The only thing I could think of is the blindfold thing. Now, I have a question, right? Does he still do that? Because I don't think he did in the last game, in the last truck sim game, stream at least. But is he still gonna do that? Is he gonna do that for Mario Kart? Fuck no. Like, what happened to that? Remember when he used to hype up stories and say, oh, you hit the goal, I'll tell you a story. Like, is that still the case? Like, I remember I was gonna criticize this Mario Kart marathon because I was like, well, he did unboxings for free. Now he's doing it as a goal, but then someone corrected me saying, well, he said he's gonna do this marathon anyway. Okay, fair enough. But then he changed the 100 goal to a food eating thing. Why can he do 2 marathons in a month? He does streams every day. He says, oh, if I do marathons multiple times, it's gonna not feel special. These marathons already don't feel special. Like, the marathons start at the same time as his normal streams. The podcasts that they do, and I mean, he didn't do a podcast for this marathon, but just look at the marathons where he did do a podcast. They're nothing burgers. He just talks about the games he's gonna play, the food he's gonna order, and that's the podcast and schedule. Of course, the holy schedule. But for this, it was just filler. It was filler. You go to a marathon and you get filler content. It's lame. So these marathons are gonna get more and more lame as time goes on, and he's just gonna have to find something new. But these marathons are already like retreading ideas. Birthday marathon, viewer's choice. Like, the Mario Kart marathon is only new in the sense that he never did a Mario Kart marathon before, but he did an unboxing event. Like, it's still a gameplay marathon. Now, I do feel that he may do that variety show he talked about as a marathon event, maybe, but that is still not a good that's still not good content to me because everyone has done a variety show, and this has a very short lifespan in my opinion, but we'll see what happens with that. But I've just been noticing this attitude in these marathons that really make me think, what is the point here? So that is my 2 cents on these marathons that I've been noticing, that he hypes them up and then he gets very depressed by the end and miserable. And all of that's in between. Because you shouldn't be feeling that way at the end of a hyped marathon. Like, you're turning into a guy being, and all he's doing is sitting down. He's sitting down, and he's like, like, there are times where I yawn, sure, when I stream, but that's as yawning. This dude will sit there and be like, like, as if he did manual labor. What's the manual labor? You sat down all day. Come on. Anyways, that is it for this video. Thank you for watching. I know this was a little like it went all over the place because I had a lot to say about the marathon in general and just my general thoughts on how all these marathons have become. Let's get hype. Let's be excited at the beginning. Let's be miserable by the end. And I wonder if that's going to be an ongoing pattern or if he's going to start forcing positivity. Because that does sometimes happen when this kind of stuff starts to get noticed by people. But we'll see what happens. Thank you for watching. I'll see you in the next one. Bye.